Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pickleball Crew. We are a group of pickleball fanatics based in southeast Louisiana and are passionate about all things pickleball everywhere. Our focus is to inform, acknowledge those who help build the game regionally, and promote tournaments in our area. We do our best to present this with a love of the sport, a sense of humor, and a lot of fun. So join Vicki Wynn, Ken Wynn, Jeff Fuchsia, and me, Bud Klein, in our latest episode. We are glad you are along for the ride. After Holly Smith, our guest last week, told us her favorite drill was skinny singles, the crew decided to start this episode with the discussion of all things skinny singles. As usual, Jeff provides us with his latest Burr under my saddle, and Vicki jumps in with her shout out. Ken will wind us up with previews of local and regional tournaments. Stay with us for another great episode. Welcome to the 34th episode of the Pickleball Crew. Have you ever wanted to play singles but thought it might be a little bit too strenuous? Well, there's another game of singles that could be a lot of fun as well as really helping you develop some of your double skills. And that's skinny or mini singles. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
So looking on USA Pickleball's website in August of 2022, it looks like they defined mini singles, also known as skinny singles, as really playing on half of the court, but you're only playing on the side of the court that you originally start the rally from. So if the server, to begin a 0-0 game, just like you would in regular singles, you're serving cross court. So that is the playable section of your court and the playable section of your opponent's court. What would be the odd side of both sides of the net are out of play or out of bounds. And you play a rally, you play the point just from cross court. Now, when the server, again, only the server can get a point. When the server does get a point, the server moves over to the odd side with an odd score of 1 and now serves straight ahead. The receiver stays because they're still even with a 0. They stay on the even side. The server now serves down the line, and you play that half of the court as down the line. And the game continues on until 11 points or whatever the game is played to. But you're really just playing on the playable portion of the court that coincides with where you're serving and receiving the ball from. There are variations of it, and we're going to talk about those in just a little bit. Jeff, you've actually played a tournament in skinny singles. Was your experience similar to what we just described?
Yeah, that's the rules that we played by. Whatever your score was, if your score was even, then you were on your right-hand side of the court. If you were odd, you were on the left-hand side of the court, and same thing for your opponent. So it gave a lot of variation as far as playing straight up sometimes or playing cross court. And for those out there that are thinking, man, I don't want to play singles, it's a lot of running. It's like you're playing a doubles game. You're just playing one-on-one against somebody. Exactly. So it's a lot of the doubles concept. So if you're a good doubles player, but not necessarily really good at singles full court, you probably will still be a really good skinny singles player. So you might want to check out some of these competitions.
So we talked about different variations of skinny singles, but one thing that we're also seeing is that some of the tournaments are adding skinny singles and even replacing regular singles with skinny singles. Opelika Paddles at the Plex tournament that is coming up in March, February-March of 2024 for the 60 and older, and it could be a decline. People get older, it's hard to cover that whole court. So they actually are introducing skinny singles for over 60, but yet you still can play regular singles under 60. So that's an interesting twist now. So we may see more skinny or mini singles being introduced in these tournaments. And looking at USA Pickleball, they're actually saying tournament directors can have both because they really don't conflict with each other as far as the type of play. But we have a video here that will kind of summarize what we talked about as the rules of skinny singles and show some examples. So, Bud, if you want to run that.
I know that for some of you, the only way you'll be able to get back out on the pickleball courts is by playing singles. What's the best way to do that? My suggestion is that you start by playing half court or skinny singles. So today I'm going to go through some of the basic rules to pickleball singles, as well as some suggestions for some fun skinny singles games. Singles can help you to improve a variety of skills, your overall strategy and pre-planning, your accuracy, as well as your physical conditioning. The first thing you need to know are the rules for singles are the same as the rules for doubles, with the exception of serving and calling the score. 4.B.5a states if the player's score is even, 0, 2, 4, etc., the serve must be made from the right/even serving area and be received in the right/even service court by the opponent. 4.B.5.b says if the player's score is odd, 1, 3, 5, etc., the serve must be made from the left/odd serving area and be received in the left/odd service court by the opponent. .B.5.c says after the server loses the rally or faults, a side out will occur and service is awarded to the opponent. So how do you call the score in singles? It's simply my score and your score. And one side note and clarification, the 2 bounce rule is still in effect for pickleball singles, which means different from tennis, there's no serve and volley. There are several variations on skinny singles, but these are 3 that I like the best. You can play the entire game straight on, or one player standing on the even side and the other player standing on the odd side. Strategy-wise, this might make you hit some new shots. Typically in doubles, because the net is lower in the center, we hit a higher percentage of cross-court shots. Some people like to play this variation, but they don't like to serve down line. So they serve cross-court and then move into the opposite court to play out the rest of the point. You can play the game cross-court. When your score is even, serve from the even side. When your score is odd, serve from the odd side. The same goes for your opponent. Cross-court makes you play and defend from different angles. Perhaps my favorite way to play is a combination of both. The game starts on the even side of the court. The server will switch sides if they win a point. If I serve and win the point, I move to the opposite side of the court for the next serve, and now we play down the line. The minute the server loses the rally, the opponent begins serving from the position they are currently standing in. One of the things I like about it is it makes you think ahead, because what was in for the last point might be out this time.
All right, that was a great video showing what skinny singles is. Let's talk a little bit about the benefits of playing skinny singles.
Jeff, why don't you talk a little bit about it, because you were actually in a tournament recently where you played skinny singles.
Well, I was in a tournament that's been a while now, and I played it and really enjoyed it. But I've drilled it more than I've played it in a tournament, and the benefits are just—it's unbelievable. If you can imagine, sometimes we play with a really good player that's really good at drop shots, and you get to the net a good bit with that person, okay? But because of their drop shots being so good. But in skinny singles, if your drops, straightforward and cross court, are not as good as they should be, or your third shot drive, fifth shot drop is not as good as it should be, it's on you. It's just you. It's kind of like golf or singles tennis. There's no looking at my partner thinking, oh, if your drops were better, we'd be doing better. So it really, we've talked in previous episodes about when we're serving in higher level pickleball, if you cannot get yourself to the net and get there a good majority of the time, you're going to be under attack, under fire, and you're not going to win many pickleball games. So the drilling aspects of this, I mean, it's a prime example of how to play winning pickleball by getting yourself to the net. And then you'll end up in dink battles once you get there, either cross court or straight up. And it makes you stay in those dink battles and keep trying to craft your point on your own. So I think the benefits of this drill are just unbelievable for doubles pickleball and how much you can get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, you're in every point. Sometimes you get in a rally and you sit there and you watch everybody else hit the ball 5 or 6 times and you never touch it. In skinny singles, you got to hit every ball. You're in every point, every stroke of the rally, or at least half of them.
And making a decision, Bud, on what shot to hit during every stroke of the rally when the ball comes on your side of the court.
Yeah, that's the biggest point I was going to make, is that it makes you think that much more about where you're going to put the ball, how hard you're going to put the ball, how soft you're going to put the ball. And all of this has to take place in less room than what you're used to in doubles. So it's challenging, it's intimidating, but I think there's a lot of benefits to it.
And we just had Holly Smith on very recently, and we were talking about a 3-5 player transitioning to 4-0. They know how to hit the shots, but they don't always, they are still struggle with court awareness, and they struggle with what shot to hit. And she said this is her number one drill that she takes players in trying to develop into making those decisions of where to put the ball. And she loves it. She loves skinny singles as a drill.
Yeah. I think we definitely need to start incorporating more of it, because I just think it is much more challenging and much more thought-provoking, but it makes you're going to learn very quickly. You don't have that grace of that little bit of room, that if it goes this way, even just a little bit, you don't have that grace. You also, like Bud brought out, you don't have your partner there sometimes to rescue you. It is entirely on you. So I think it's a quick way to learn what to do and what not to do. But getting up to that net, like Jeff said, is super, super important.
Yeah, and you're playing, if you have a good serve and your partner is not able to get up to that no volley zone, and then you can come back with a strong drive on your third shot. But if they are able to get, then you've got to either drive the ball or determine whether you're going to hit that third shot drop and slowly work your way through the transition zone back up to that no volley zone for a kind of a dink rally. So it is a real life scenario, but it's a one-on-one. Like Jeff said, you can't rely on that partner who's really good at third shot drops to bail you out. So
I think too, just from a physical the exercise value of it to me is great too. I like playing singles because of the strenuousness of it, and if you will, the cardio part of it. You put a lot more effort into playing singles, and the only thing I don't like about regular singles is it's too much almost for me. So I'm really looking forward to getting more involved in playing skinny singles. So I'm going to try to get more of it when we play at Pelican.
I was just going to ask the question about, I hate to even ask it, but lobs. Do you get caught up way more with what to do? Because if you're not making your way in and that person's there and so dominant at the net, is it tempting? Is it wise? Is it not wise? I mean, what did you find as far as lobs were concerned in skinny singles?
I mean, maybe throw one in here and there. I think it makes you trust what you're supposed to do, because on your third, on your fifth, on your seventh, you best hit some sort of drop to get yourself to the net. It's kind of, we talk about crafting points. Sometimes It's kind of up in the air. Hey, did my partner do wrong? Did I do wrong? What happened there? Skinny singles is going to put a spotlight on the two players
Mhm.
playing, and it's going to be very easy to see where the mistakes were made. And as far as lobs are concerned, Vicki, I mean, that's kind of a if you got somebody that's I'm playing skinny singles with a guy and he's really good, he's lengthy, and he's really leaning in, putting a lot of pressure on me, I might want to try a lob every now and then. But as far as trying to get there, if he's giving me trouble getting there, getting up to the line, then it's going to be a tough row to hoe. So it makes you hit the right
Mhm.
shots. Don't hit the right shots, it's going to show up pretty evident in this match, or in your even in your drilling sessions, and you'll be able to see where you need the most work at.
Right. I would think that accuracy comes in a ton on that. And I mean, I asked the question about lobs, but to me, you would have to be so much more accurate with a lob in skinny singles than you.
Yeah.
And that makes it even, that makes that shot even more challenging. So
With all your
Mhm.
shots, I've done it a good bit. I haven't done it lately. After talking with Holly last week, I think we need to do more of it, but it makes all of your shots have to be after the serve and return. From there, you're angling in or in straight ahead one half of the court. And it is a little bit, it takes a little getting used to, but I think once you get used to it, then when you have the whole court to play with, it actually helps you because you got more room for
makes
error.
sense.
I
can
think the fact
see.
too that both of you start off at the back court with nobody already at the net, that puts a little bit more of a premium on shot placement. So you don't have anybody there at the net that can block the ball back and keep the other side deep. You've got to do that, or you got to drop it and get up to the net. So I think it just puts a different. To me, it's a different tactic, and it's a positive one, and one you should use all the time.
Yeah,
That's a good point, but that actually really puts the emphasis on the returner to get even a lofty return. They've got to get up to that no volley zone because they have the advantage. But if they meander on up, or if they hit a hard flat shot and get caught in a transition, well then, so it puts an emphasis on getting yourself up to that no volley zone. So that you do have the advantage in that rally.
Yeah, you got to hit a good deep return a serve. Well, you got to hit a good deep serve and a good deep return a serve. If you hit a shallow serve, guy's already halfway to the net when he returns serve.
Exactly.
Yeah, it really makes you work those skills that are the right things to do. I mean, you guys have all said it, and it just makes perfect sense with this exercise and this drill. So, I mean, you can't say enough that you got to get out and try it.
Yeah.
Vicki,
Yeah.
One thing I was going to say, Vicki, to third shot drops or getting to the no volley zone, skinny singles might be a good segue between the first part of drilling and playing games, where you actually play skinny singles to 5 points or 6 points, pair off, and emphasize that third shot drop, emphasize that getting to the no volley zone as the returner.
Absolutely. It'd be a great progression, no doubt.
Yeah. Y'all, this isn't for the podcast, but here's what I'm thinking. We start doing this and keep track of how many times as a player, like I'm serving, how many times can I get to that net? Say, Vicki, you put me and Ken in a drilling situation straight up, okay? And got Bud and Tom on the side of us straight up. Me and Ken play 10 points out with me serving, and I see times I can get to the net. Okay, Ken, I got there 6 out of 10 times or 7 out of 10 times. And then we switch it up, and then you do it. And just see if we can improve our percentage of getting to the net. And we might better do it with 4 of us on the court like that, straight up, or we can do it cross court.
Yeah, you do cross court.
Me and Ken play a point out, and then when our point ends, then immediately we gather the ball up, and then we let Bud and Tom play on the left-hand side and keep track of that. then, like I said a while ago, you're not depending on. I mean, when I play with Chase Rigdon, Ravi Patel, those guys are going to hit drop shots and get us to the net when the ball goes to them most of the time. So, but if it's on me, okay, I look over there, Chase is not there. All right, now it's on me to try to get to the net. Now that could be a different story.
No doubt. No doubt.
So we're chasing a rabbit right now, but I think it's something. I think it's something we need to have in our drills. That's going to take us a little further down the road.
I agree. Yeah, totally agree.
Well, I've got to be honest that I never really had an interest for skinny singles because coming from a tennis background, I like to play singles because it was like playing singles tennis, and I don't know. I felt like I did well at it just right out the gate. Kind of like even Taylor Garcia coming from a strong tennis background, much better tennis player than I am. And here she is excelling quickly in singles, and she's doing so well at it that I didn't want to play skinny singles because I lost that side of the court where I could drive the ball into the corner away from. But I tell you, after thinking about it and listening to Holly Smith play, I really want to play more skinny singles because it's only going to make my game better if I can work on my third shot drops and work on the little things that get me transitioning back up to that no volley zone. So
there is no doubt. There's no doubt about what you just said, and I saw it. I was competing against Bernard, Tony Altamont, and Arthur Mixon from over in Lafayette. If I get on the court and play, I've already played Tony in a tournament, and he beat me 11-2, 11-4, something like that. It might have been worse than that. If I get on the court in regular singles with Bernard, he is going to blow me off the court. But in this skinny singles format, I beat Tony one game, and I competed very well with Bernard. And it's because it is doubles pickleball in a singles format. So what you're saying there, yeah, if you and I would you even now, are you more comfortable on the singles court than you are on the doubles court, you think?
I think my doubles court is catching up to my singles court, and I think they're pretty close now. I think I'm probably still a little more comfortable on my singles court than doubles. But but as my soft game progresses and my transition game progresses, and I just kind of become a little more smarter of a player over time from learning what shots to hit, I think the gap is closing, and I think that this is a tool that can definitely help anybody become a better doubles player. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to learn more about it and play it.
I bumped into a friend not that long ago, and she was actually getting ready for singles, and she was discussing the fact that it had been recommended to try skinny singles and everything else, but she kind of really didn't understand the premise because she felt like with singles, and I think it's a really good point, I want to make sure to bring it out, that this is not really just for singles. Even though the term says skinny singles, this is not training for singles. And part of the reason why is, she said, because I keep having to feed the ball back to the person, whereas when I'm playing full court singles, I'm doing everything I can to keep the ball away from the person. So that's, and in her mind, and it makes perfect sense that if you are in training for a singles competitive match, that might not be the focus that you want to make. And that made perfect sense to me. You definitely want to try to always go and move your opponent back and forth and move them around and keep them away from the ball. So, and in here, you have to have it back in that direction. So just wanted to make that point that if that's what we're thinking, and not, if anybody out there is thinking this is training for singles, I don't play singles anyway, why do I need this? We really want to make the point that this is great doubles training.
Maybe a better name for it instead of skinny singles might have been half doubles, because it really is kind of doubles pickleball, but you're only playing half the court. So
half court doubles.
half court doubles like half court basketball.
Well, but again, I don't know because you only have two people, so it really wouldn't be.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll have to think about that one.
I personally think it's great because I think there's a lot of people out there like me that like the idea of singles. Okay, I would love singles when I was 25 to 30 years old.
Mhm.
So this is a way to compete by yourself. It's another event when you travel to these tournaments that one can play in, and it's an actual showcase of your double skills just with you one-on-one with another person. So for me, and in a format that's not going to just wreck my body, I think that's why you got the 60 plus deal going on there. So, and again, I think there's a lot of people out there that think like me. Ken, you've played a lot of singles in tournaments. You played more than any of us, but you have to admit how grueling it's been, especially a couple of your tournaments.
No doubt.
Well, I admit that there was one time that we played a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and men's singles was Tuesday, and I ended up playing about 7 or 8 matches, and I was blessed or fortunate enough that time to actually go all the way to the finals, and I was a bit wiped out for the next 2 days where I had to play mixed doubles and then men's doubles. I just felt like I kind of didn't have my legs the next 2 days. So you're right. It's especially once you get above 50 or 60, it's really, it takes a toll on your body, even more so. So
Yeah, Jeff, that was a great point. It really is. And that's what's got me interested in it now too, is I like to play singles. So I'm looking forward to making that more a part of my pickleball journey.
Yeah, and hopefully more tournaments will offer that.
Yep.
I think they're going to, Vicki, because I think it's going to be really popular. Right now, the singles thing is very popular with the young gun, the movers, and the shakers, and the tennis players. But this is something to kind of, I don't want to say level the playing field. You can get in whatever competition you want. But like I said, for me, I feel like it's a way for me to compete in a kind of a singles format.
Right.
One-on-one, but yet it's a singles competition.
Right.
And you lose the excuse if my partner hadn't missed that shot.
Yeah.
If you don't get up to the no volley zone, there's only one person to blame.
There's sometimes it's in question. Well, okay, did he have a couple of chances to get us up there? He had a couple balls. He didn't get us that. No, there ain't none of that. You look over there ain't nobody. We'll set mirrors up around the court. When you look over there, it's you.
Well, Krewe, that was a really great discussion on skinny singles. I really enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to getting out on the court and playing a lot more singles. But now, as always, it's time for Jeff and his Burr under my saddle, or in this case, maybe his Burr under his wrap.
Yeah, I am fresh off of a hunting trip to Missouri. So I've been waiting on this one, y'all. I've been thinking about it. People, dink cross court most of the time, either cross court or middle. Now, if you're a high level player, move that ball around. You do your thing. I'm not necessarily talking to those folks. But if you're trying to figure out the dink game, once you get there, you're going to be a lot more consistent if you dink cross court and don't try to move the ball straight ahead too much. And there's a few reasons for this. One is the nets are higher on the ends and the person is straight across from you when you're straight up. That's a harder dink, okay, because it has to be more precise. When you go cross court, the net's lower in the middle, and you got a lot more room for error cross court. So I'm saying this, I'm begging you people. If you want to get more consistency in your game, okay, especially at intermediate levels, make the decision to go cross court or middle in your dink battles most of the time. And then if your game doesn't improve, you come to me and we're going to try to figure out what the heck's going on, because I think it will make you a more consistent player. So this week's Burr Under My Saddle is, people, please dink cross court more.
And it's another great Burr Under My Saddle. Thank you, Jeff. And now it's time.
Hey, bud, I've got a shout out. Alrighty, I've got one shout out today, and that is to the crew that came from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and Amy from the Gulf Coast. We had a wonderful Saturday of pickleball, and it's just such a nice thing to have other players come, and it just makes me think that we need to repay the favor sometime and head up their way, because I know that in many cases you get so used to playing the same people, over and over again. So this is encouragement. They had a carload, just show up. Why don't we all do that at some point in time? Load up a car, go and surprise another park and hang out and play with them sometimes. So I think it's refreshing for everybody. We get extra people, new people to play with, and they do as well. So thank you guys for showing up and for a great day of pickleball. We had a good time. Thanks.
Thank you, Vicki. Yeah, it was a great day. I had a lot of fun that day. Got to play with some different players and really enjoyed myself, in spite of the fact that it was a little crowded.
Right.
Hot off the press, it's time for Ken's tournament previews.
Hey, thanks, Bud. Let's start with January 27th, 2024. It's the Checkmate tournament at W.O. Lot Park. It's $30 per person. It's a one-day mixed doubles tournament. Go to pickleballbrackets.com. It's a fundraiser for the Bayside Academy chess team. February 2nd through February 4th is the Winter Pickleball Blast at Mooney Park in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. There's a long URL. We'll put it at the bottom of the screen. February 2nd through February 4th, the Dragon Slam tournament at Stax in Baton Rouge. Go to Stax website /events. We'll put the URL at the bottom of the screen. February 13th through 15th, this is the Pickle Gras Jamboree at the Foley Event Center. There's already 58 people registered. Scott Korth is the tournament director. That's a great venue to play, and he always does a good job as tournament director. Go to pickleballbrackets.com as well. February 16th through 18th, this is the 5th annual Southern Hills Polar Bear Tournament in Shreveport, Louisiana. It's $60 per person plus $20 per event. It's mixed doubles and gender doubles. Again, go to pickleballbrackets.com. February 23rd through 25th is the Canebrake Country Club tournament in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. It's a beautiful country club. There's 12 permanent courts there, and this is just a top-notch club. It's worth seeing. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register as well. February 27th through March 3rd, Paddles at the Plex, Opelika, Alabama. There's already 203 people registered. In this tournament, you're going to get close to 800 people registered. You'll have full brackets of 16 teams per bracket. So you're going to have play at your level, at your age group. Highly recommend it. Go to pickleballbrackets.com for Paddles at the Plex. March 15th through 17th is the Mississippi Senior Games, Pops Ferry Courts in Biloxi, Mississippi. Again, go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. This is a qualifying year for nationals, which will be in the summer of 2025 in Des Moines, Iowa. March 16th, 17th, paddles on St. Patty's Day. This is Pelican Park in Mandeville, Louisiana. Registration has opened. We'll put the URL at the bottom of the screen. You basically go to Pelican Park's recreational website to register. March 15th through 17th is the first annual pickleball tournament at the Graywood Golf and Racquet Club, Lake Charles, Louisiana. It's $50 per person. There's singles, gender doubles, and mixed doubles, 12 courts. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. for that tournament, which will be the first annual in Lake Charles, Louisiana. March 22nd through 24th is the Pickle in the Dell. This will be at Crossgate Country Club. Registration has not yet opened. I just talked to Terry Lempres this morning, and they're waiting for some final approvals. Registration will be out. This will be at Crossgates, and we'll pass along the URL as soon as that becomes available. March 22nd through 24th is the Battle at the Beach. This will be at the Gulf Shores Sportsplex. These are dedicated pickleball courts in Gulf Shores, Alabama. It's $70 per person. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. March 29th and 30th is the Alabama Open. Jeff's got a t-shirt on this episode from the Alabama Open. That's always a fun tournament. It's in Clay, Alabama, which is a suburb northeast of Birmingham. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. We got another brand new tournament. April 6th, we have a brand new tournament. It's the Miss Mississippi in Vicksburg, Mississippi. It's mixed doubles only. It's a one-day tournament. We'll put the application or the flyer on the screen, as well as go to pickleballbrackets.com. This will be at Halls Ferry Park, which is a great complex. It was just opened about a little over a year ago. Dedicated permanent outdoor pickleball courts. April 12th through 14th is the Hattiesburg Pickleball Classic. This is the tournament where Marlena Martis is the tournament director. It's going to be at Tatum Park. Go to pickleballbrackets.com. There is gender doubles and mixed doubles, and there's already nearly 100 people registered for this tournament. This is going to be a great time. And it's a fundraiser for the Young Life Organization and the USM Wesley Foundation. Let's see, April 12th through 14th also is the Alabama Senior Games back in Opelika, Alabama. Pickleballbrackets.com to register for that. April 20th and 21st is the second annual Dinkin' in the Delta. This is in Greenwood, Mississippi. Go to pickleballbrackets.com. It's $50 per person. You're guaranteed 3 matches per event. August 8th through 11th is the NOLA Pickle Fest, the second annual. It's the Moriel Convention Center. Go to pickleballbrackets.com. There's almost 100 people registered for this event already. Keep in mind, your pool will play on 2 days. So it'll either be Thursday and Saturday or Friday and Sunday. And all of the gold medal matches will be on Sunday. Saturday morning will be Drew Brees, John McEnroe, and a pair of pros playing. We spent the whole 4 days there last year, and this was a great venue, a great place to play. They use the pickle roll courts, so it's a rollout, gridded surface that's on the concrete floor of the convention center. It's air conditioner, great lights. It was a great place to play, especially in early August in New Orleans. Going to October 4th through 6th is the Louisiana Senior Games. This year they're going to be at the Legacy in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Keep in mind, again, this is a qualifying year for nationals, which will be in summer of 25 in Des Moines, Iowa. Finally, October 25th through 27th is the Hollow Wheel Tournament in Baton Rouge. Registration will open in April. Friday, women's doubles. Saturday, mixed doubles. Sunday, men's doubles. And that's it, Bud, for tournament preview.
All right, Ken, thanks for those previews. Lots of tournaments going on. Get signed up and let's play some pickleball. If nobody has anything else, I think it's time to say goodnight. This was a great episode, crew. But let's say goodnight to our viewers. Good night.
Good night.
See you on the courts.
Hey, from the Pickleball crew, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next week. Well, that's it for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave any comments, and please like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks again, and see you next week.